there is still no excuse for this happening. Josh Heupel knows it, I know it, you know it, and everybody watching this video knows it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you are having a great day. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. And man, oh man, we got a very intriguing situation that involves no other than Tennessee Volunteers and Josh Heupel. This topic is so important, we're not even throwing in some minor ones. Nope, this is the one and only thing we're going to be talking about. So do what you got to do, strap in, buckle up, get your snack, get your popcorn, get your favorite meal you like to eat, do all that nice stuff, because we're getting straight into it right now. Let's lock in. As we all know, Josh Heupel, aka Bobby Hill, he has put this Tennessee program on the map. And saying he's put them on the map might be understating it. He has taken this program from nothing to a top 10 team in the past couple of years. In my humble opinion, he still doesn't get enough credit for how quickly he turned around this program because they were left out to dry. When he inherited this program and team, I'm going to remind some of y'all, this is when they was coming off of that huge scandal, investigation, and that just big mess. I'm not going to get into everything that transpired there because that's really a different video for a different day. They had scholarships being taken away, and also all their really good players, they were up and leaving because they thought, oh yeah, this program, they're going to suck for the next 5 to 6 years. Some of you may not even recall this, but Tennessee was reaching out to multiple coaches, and this is public knowledge, they just straight up turned them down. You had people turning down this job left and right. Nobody knew what the future of the program was going to look like, but then out of nowhere, Bobby Hill comes to save the day. Heupel said, you know what? Yeah, this is a sticky situation. It's going to take some time, but I feel like I'm the man for the job. And well, what do you know? The rest is history. He has done more than a fantastic job, and if you're a Tennessee fan or just a college football fan in general, you should appreciate Josh Heupel. Most people thought he may be able to turn around Tennessee within, and this was best case scenario, 3 to 4 years. Well, in year 2, what does he do? He upsets Alabama, and that was really the peak of their season and the pinnacle. So hard to fathom and believe if you remember how just bad of a situation Tennessee was in. It took Heupel 2 years to turn around that program. Only 2 years. It was remarkable, and for the past 3 years combined, Tennessee has consistently been a top 15 team. And since he's had Tennessee, for the most part, being a top 15 team and ball club, the standards of that program have rose to another level. Last year in 2023 was sort of a down season, if you got to ask me, and it just had everything to do with the offense and Joe Milton. He wasn't too great of a quarterback. And nobody really expected that team last year to be competing for championships. All in all, decent season, wound up finishing 9-4. Nothing to hang your heads about, but nothing to be too happy about either. But this year, the expectations were different. I thought they were different due to the fact, y'all know how I feel about them, Nico Iamaleava. I stated in 2023 he should have been starting over Milton. I love everything about that kid. We'll get to him in just a second. But another reason people were high on this 2024 Tennessee football team outside of quarterback play and the explosive offense we know they have is the defense. This is arguably one of the best defensive football teams Tennessee has had in, shoot man, I'm trying to think. It's been a long time. I can't remember the last time I legitimately thought Tennessee had a top 10 defense. I mean, you're talking about, I'm trying to think. I seriously don't know. It's been that long. The point is, this 2024 Tennessee football team, great offense, and now finally to match the great offense, they got a great defense. Or that's what we thought. When you think of Josh Heupel, when you think of Tennessee football the past 3 or 4 years, what do you think of? Great offense, terrible defense. Heupel's an offensive mastermind, offensive guru, whatever you want to call him. Well, this year's team, ironically enough, has a better defense than offense, which yet again is not, and let me repeat those 2 words, is not Josh Heupel's forte. I'm going to remind some of y'all, they did not win that Oklahoma game because of the offense. They won it because of the defense. That's it. I stated it myself. The offense was on cruise control in the second half because they had the big lead, but that goes back to the point of Josh Heupel knows he has a really good defense, so he could just rely on them and not do anything crazy on offense. So I think it is more than fair to say, yeah, they beat Oklahoma because of the defense. In their most recent game against Arkansas, defense is what kept them in the ball game. Yeah, sure, they gave up the late touchdown at the end. We'll cross that bridge when we get there in just a second. But my point is, Josh Heupel has had his best defense he has ever had in his tenure at Tennessee. By far, it's not even close. And he's not doing anything with it. Here's a fun fact for you. Tennessee in their first 3 games was averaging 63.6 points per game. In their last 2, 22. With that being said, you don't got to be a rocket scientist to come to the conclusion that, yeah, the offense is struggling a little bit. But why is that? Let's pull into cold hard facts. And I love me some cold hard facts. You know why? Because they're indisputable. Outside of a couple passes in the Arkansas-Oklahoma game, Nico cannot advance the ball down the field. First thing I look for when your offense is struggling is how you run the ball, and we can already cross that off because Tennessee is running the ball just fine. A lot of times when you're struggling in the passing game, you're struggling in the running game, which means the defense can just pin their ears back, and yeah, it's just haywire from there. Tennessee's run the ball just fine, so you know what I'm about to say next. This is a passing problem. Outside of a couple of passes, Nico cannot advance the ball down the field. Let me ask you a question, Tennessee fans. How many passes over 25 yards through the air did Hendon Hooker complete? Not in the entire season, but per game. At least, what, 5 or 6? That Hendon Hooker to Jalen Hyatt connection was making SEC defenses look silly and stupid out there. Well, at Tennessee this year, and this is just my perspective on it, I don't think SEC teams fear the deep ball. Like I said, he had a couple of decent passes, but that's about it. Nico's performance against Arkansas was by far his worst up to date. It wasn't to the point where he was atrocious, he was abysmal, like he straight up lost you the game. No, it wasn't anything like that. But it was also to the point where he just didn't do anything. It was slightly below average. I got a great way to explain it. He was playing like he was trying to not lose the game. Whereas Hendon Hooker, and I bring this comparison up because that Hendon Hooker offense was legendary, it didn't matter if Tennessee was down 20, up 20, they're throwing that thing 60 yards through the air. And it is worth mentioning, a main reason Hendon Hooker could do all that is because he was a veteran quarterback who could read the defenses. Nico, you saw it against Arkansas, you saw it against even Oklahoma, he was struggling to read the defense. Against Arkansas, more times than not, if he got locked in on one receiver, that was the only guy he was looking towards. But outside of Nico playing a not-so-good game, my next question is this right here. How did Josh Heupel even allow this to happen? As embarrassing as it is to lose as a top 5 team to an unranked team in Arkansas, and I'll give credit to Arkansas in just a second, Tennessee was also coming off of a bye week. They had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. 2 weeks to prepare for this game. 2! And you just got outplayed. It wasn't a case and scenario where Tennessee was a better team. No, Arkansas looked like the better team on Saturday. And then to make matters even worse, Tennessee is winning this game 14-13, and Arkansas beat them with the backup quarterback on the final drive of the game for them. It's already bad enough you lost to Arkansas, but you didn't even lose to their top guy. You lost to the backup quarterback who looked like a deer in headlights. And you know when the backup quarterback goes in there at the end of the game, after his first drive, he didn't do much anything, Arkansas was going to try to run the ball. They did, and you still couldn't stop them. That then leads me to my next point. If your offense is going to be average this year, well, what's going to happen when your defense has a bad game? You're going to get blown out of the water. I do want to give credit to Arkansas. That's not a bad team. If they beat Oklahoma State, in which they should have, I have no idea how they lost that game. They'd be inside the top 25. And Arkansas almost beat Texas A&M. I mean, they're a couple plays away from being 6-0. I don't really like to play that what-if game, but seriously, they are. I'm just shocked that Heupel didn't have his guys ready to go, and Tennessee didn't have a good game plan. Much respect to this guy, but Sam Pittman in Arkansas, with far less talent, outcoached Tennessee and Josh Heupel. And that is the worst part about this. As Tennessee fans, you know I'm right, and this is why you're upset. You're upset not because you lost to Arkansas, but because you have way more talent than Arkansas. You are the better team, and you just let this one slip away with yet again 2 weeks to prepare. And yeah, you still got a great shot of making the playoff this year. I think this is widely known in the SEC. If you lose 2 games, you still might get in. And let's just say you can have 2 losses this year. It's really bad to have one of those against Arkansas because you're going to play much better teams in the future. Same thing can be said for Alabama. Alabama and Tennessee, and they're in the same boat. Alabama, yeah, you might be able to lose 2 games this year, but you're not doing yourself any favors by burning one of those losses against Vandy. Tennessee's got Florida this weekend. We know what that game's about, but also they got Alabama and Georgia. You can point and laugh at Alabama all you want. I've done it myself, trust me, but you still know Alabama is Alabama. Enough said. And I'll tell you what, man, let's just say, theoretically speaking, for the sake of this video, Tennessee loses to Alabama and Georgia. They finish 9-3. If that loss to Arkansas is the reason they missed the playoff, Tennessee fans are not going to be happy. Tennessee fans can understand losing to Bama and Georgia, but Arkansas with this team, nah, there's no excuse for it. I know how good of a team Arkansas is, so I'm not insanely shocked they won like I was when Vanderbilt beat Alabama. But, and I have a really big but, you better believe this, there is still no excuse for this happening. Josh Heupel knows it. I know it, you know it, and everybody watching this video knows it. Many more things I could say. Let me know your thoughts down below. But